I have.
Meat shield's always
So I've been listening to some more of 1,000 Suns, and the Space Wolves showed up, and oh my god, it took me about 2 hours to get through their first couple of paragraphs because I kept having to stop to commentate to Joe on what assholes these were. Like, one of them is he's such a weeb. He's a weeb, but for Scandinavia, and it's so fucking annoying. And then
is that Rutherford?
No, what's really so wrong about being a weeb? Come on, like it's meme to fuck, but what's so wrong about it? Really,
everything is wrong about being.
He's not being a weeb in the sense of he's a fan of something. That's just an identifier. He's a weeb in the sense of glorious Nippon steel, but for Scandinavia, and it's so frustrating. He makes
people assume. Sorry, people assume weeb means enjoyer of Japanese culture.
I'm well aware of what weeb is. Like, I mean, sure, it's a little cringe, but leave them to it. They're not hurting anyone.
No, so I would generally agree with you. I guess I was meaning this in a derogatory sense, which I suppose is part of what you were driving at. The sentence that got me is he uses a simile. He says, this would be as difficult as hunting a kraken around Asserheim. And he's talking to Ackerman, one of the most widely read people in the Imperium, who in response just goes, I mean, that doesn't mean anything to me. I've never been to your homeworld. And the guy has a little chuckle and goes, oh, no, I don't suppose you have. No.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he's literally.
I don't suppose you get to Fenris often.
Exactly.
No.
He does this. And then there's a moment. Does anyone mind spoilers for the early middle of 1,000 Suns?
I don't.
So there's a decade.
But it's worth checking. Like, I'm getting to these books late, so other people might be.
In the end, the Emperor kills Horus.
There is a scene. There is a scene where fucking goddammit, where they're fighting a load of wounded Chaos Eldar Titans, and the Space Wolves are firing infantry-grade rocket launchers at them and charging them on foot. And they're getting massacred, and their rocket launchers are doing nothing. And Ahriman points out to them, bruh, those are pointless. You are wasting ammunition. Why? And the Space Wolf guy very smugly goes, I see you've never hunted a Fenrisian kraken. It's the same fucking kraken metaphor again. I see it's simile. I see you've never hunted a Fenrisian kraken. One boat cannot work, but multiple boats together can bring them down. It's yes. Congratulations. That is basic pack hunting. Humanity has been doing that basically since its inception for many hundreds of thousands of years. Fucking everyone gets that. You are not making a noble point. He wasn't telling you that cumulative efforts don't do anything. He was telling you your infantry-grade rocket launchers make no difference against the Titan. And then the Titan gets its head ripped off by Magnus with psychic powers. And afterwards, the Space Wolf has the fucking temerity to go, haha, you see? I told you if it bleeds, we can kill it. No, bruh, no. You were shooting it in its hilarious shin, and nothing was happening.
It also doesn't bleed.
It doesn't bleed. It's so...
often. They are, I say, the antithesis to the typical Chad. They're the realistic Chad, There
is a beautiful moment where
they're not a Chad, they are a Kyle.
He shows up...
My dad owns a dealership.
Sorry, that's what a Chad is actually like, though.
I too.
Yeah, but they call them a Kyle.
I know.
That particular Space Wolf shows up, clearly passes his fear roll and throws a bunch of wolves at Magnus, and then tries to grandstand him and says, "The Wolf King commands you to do this." Magnus lets him get his spiel out, and then stops time, and then forcibly usurps control of the Space Wolf's body. And is all but ready to go, I am about to pull your ships out of orbit whilst you watch, and then I will tear you apart limb from limb. Who commands who? Implied, you little fucking bitch. I am not at your command. How fucking dare you? You and everyone you brought here will die. What the fuck do you think you're doing? And then the Space Wolf, to show that he's understood this. So you might get it. Does anyone take a wild guess what the fucking Space Wolf does to show submission?
Pisses on his leg.
He shows his fucking neck.
He shows his belly. He goes in his back and he starts exposing his belly.
Close but no cigar to all of you, other than Benji, who's read the book, and indeed the Space Wolf.
I'm not remembering that bit. I'm just thinking, what would a wolf do?
Oh yeah,
a wolf would show its neck.
Shows his fucking neck.
Yeah, but the problem is the gesture is going to look like he's being a smug twat.
Oh, it is beautiful. He is being a smug twat, and he's being really shitty about it. And there's almost a verbally implied Magnus rolls his eyes. restarts time, and suddenly the Space Wolf's being really obsequious, and they make a point of saying all of the other wolves are going like, oh, why is that guy being... He was so grandstandy a second ago. Why is he being so horrible now? It's like, yeah... Because you are a little bitch, and how dare you think you can get away with this shit-tier antic? You thought you could throw, 20 large wolves at Magnus, and you would come away the victor somehow? Oh, and then he complains that he's sworn a blood oath and can't return until he gets Magnus to come with him. And Magnus just says,
yeah, but,
your problem,
also...
fuck off.
Sounds
like
like
a you people that would kill steal and think they have genuinely done a good job.
Oh, yeah. They do, they've only had a couple of literally 2 fight sequences so far, and in both instances, that's exactly what's happened. I really hate the Space Wolves in this book, which I guess is a really good characterization of the Space Wolves, because I look at them and I just go, man, I fully appreciate how you could fuck everything up as harshly as possible. And don't get me wrong, Magnus so far, absolute cock. He's full on Magnusing everything. Complete dick.
Yeah.
But, you also see how...
The Legion words might as well be fucked around and found out.
Yeah.
Can I call pace in the Space Wolves thing? Because
yes.
I want to know how bad. Actually, no, you're doing the warp walk first, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're probably in a better place than I am.
So let's have. Well, that depends.
I'm not currently in a crashing drop pod, so at the moment, yes.
If you'll remember. The warp walk, we waited to see what happened with the crashing drop situation based on how badly the warp walk goes. So this may be a mundane issue, it may be a less mundane issue. We shall see. And also, Benji, glass houses, bud, glass houses. So.
I see it more as the bloke, it's James Franco in that fucking movie, just turning to the other guy about to be hung and goes, first time...
This is your first time walking through the warp with Magnus promising to be your Gellar-field.
Oh, good.
Don't get me wrong, after this, you can absolutely brag about this forever if you survive. But at the moment, the crashing drop pod might be preferable. At least the death would be quick.
Night Slayer, Warp Walker, Gellar-field, Enjoyer.
So, let's have some reminders.
What is this, my Twitter bio?
Command Squad, brought to you by Heinz Soup. That took me a second. Bad landings. All this is the second in command's fault. I think that was an Ollie one. Octopus cloning is going well, ? Mortarion is racing towards the planet. Upcoming warp walk. Sorry, just checking out. Yeah, I have done this out. Sent 2 responses to Mortarion, one sus, the other very sus. Pending impending disaster. Nazeem was tasked to investigate psykers in the Legion. Mackie wants to go against father's orders and investigate psyker numbers in the Legion. And with that, I think we go a little teeny tiny bit, smidgenette further back in time to Coayah preparing himself for the warp walk.
Let's do the warp walk again. You going for anyone else's head right now? It's going for mine.
You can just sing Time Warp. Time Warp. It is the warp. Time can get fucky.
It goes all Jeremy Beremy.
I mean, kinda, yeah. It's more reliable than that, but it's not that reliable. Okay. So.
Wait a second, was that a Good Place reference?
Yes.
Okay, it was the one I was thinking then.
I still love the dot in that. So, Coayah, who have you got with you on this surgical strike?
Probably not the murder?
Well, up to you, isn't it? Up to you. You are quite popular with the murder these days.
That's true, yeah, I just figured terms surgical strike and murder don't generally go well together.
Well, that depends on the exact nature of the surgical strike. If you need to be quiet, probably not, no. On the other hand, if you are surgically inserting people to go kill shit, and the insertion is what's surgical, but the kill shit isn't, yeah, maybe. But, you know, your choice on the troop deployment, so it's what you fancy, really. All that we know for sure.
You know what? I'll be nice. I'm gonna take what's his face? Not Macuiltotec. Bloody Destroyer lad.
The head guy. Yeah, Mishulko. Yeah.
You're
going
to
take him and his cadre because presumably we're going up against psykers. We're going to need psych out grenades.
So you're taking. Just to follow your logic here, you're going to be nice. You're going to take Mishulko on your unshielded warp trip.
Mishulko always gets the best mission.
Like, we're being nice by recognising his value to the mission.
Yeah, you might at least be careful, because he's paranoid of getting assassinated.
No, we would never do that. Not on a live op, at least, right?
Okay, well... were you in one of the drop pods, Carl, or were you back on the ship? You were playing a destroyer card, remember?
Character,
in the squad. Yeah, exactly. You've got Kuzco.
I still have one. Wait, shit. I can't remember the name of it. Phosphex bomb. There we go.
I mean, presumably we can give you more Phosphex bombs, but we probably don't want to take Phosphex. Given we'd quite like to have this world in a reasonably good
Oh yeah, I'm just reminding you all that I still have one.
Okay.
I think it's up to mission parameters whether Phosphex has been authorized.
You can probably just get more, but also I don't feel comfortable taking Phosphex bombs through the warp. That seems like a terrible idea.
Oh, no, sorry, I was with Drop Pod Crew. Yeah.
Oh, right.
I was just letting them know.
That seems like an even worse idea to have a Phosphex bomb in a crashing drop pod.
If there is one place you don't want the Phosphex to be, it's a drop pod that you can't get out of going at twice terminal velocity.
Which is then crashing.
Crashing, yeah, that's true. So that sounds like it's up to the mission commander, which I think would be the Legion Master.
Sorry, can you give me a breakdown? I had to respond.
Do we need the Mega Napalm or not?
Do you need the Mega Napalm?
Can Cole bring his Phosphex bomb?
In your drop pod.
Oh, in my drop pod. I get a fucking that shit.
Yeah, that sounds like a no.
Sorry, Carl. I just don't like it when sentient fire is in my drop pod. I'm sure you'll understand.
Sentient mega fire.
Unfortunately, no, it is sentient. Yeah, I was going to say sentient, sapient, sentient, but no, it is sentient, not sapient. Yeah.
So I just want to clarify that this is a straight up retcon.
Of what?
Yes, it is a retcon. You can have a melter bomb instead.
Okay, thank you. Like that's ultimately like the main point is like if you're gonna like just take something from me, like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. It's not. It's more. I mean, I know I did. I think
that was more of a question for the GM, Ollie. I think you're fine.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
It is reasonable for you to
still
have
bad to have in the drop pod.
It is better than Phosphex.
You'll die faster.
We can burn our way out of a drop pod with a melter bomb. Probably don't want to be inside it when it happens.
No, I'm going to say Phosphex is definitely worse. Melter bombs do not have a high radius. Kharybdis is massive, and melter bombs have a radius of like a meter as standard. So, like, unless you're sat next to him, and the size of a Space Marine seat in a drop pod anyway, just leave an empty seat either side, and you're basically fine. Well, other than blowing a hole in the side of the drop pod, but you're crashing at this point anyway. So who gives a shit?
Click that it's my Kharybdis that we're in.
It is your Kharybdis, yes.
It's a Legion's Kharybdis.
It's not
Kharybdis, unfortunately...
It's imprinted, man.
Yeah, they imprint very heavily, and it imprinted on Nazeem, so whilst you can put people who have not imprinted on... who a Kharybdis has not imprinted on in it, it does not tend to work out well.
Okay.
They have a funny way of doing things like opening their doors mid-jump and allowing the atmospheric heat to literally vaporize people.
Or the Kharybdis is there just chuckling slightly.
Yes. Yeah, they machine code laugh.
I can just see it. They seem vindictive.
They are extremely vindictive. There is both Kharybdis and Dreadclaws almost unanimously side with Chaos during the Heresy. Which, for the record, They are the only forces that almost unanimously side with Chaos during the Heresy. Like, literally bar none. The Mechanicum is only 60-40. And even then, arguable.
For Chaos or 40?
60 for Chaos.
So... actually, wait, who's in our drop pod again? Who's in this drop pod? We've got,
You, Father, 2 Telekines, Cattle, Mackie, and Coatlmox.
Psychic power, try to save. Don't psychic power, stay hidden.
You, I don't think, do have the psychic power to save, for the record. If anyone's going to, it's the Telekine, and they fluff the roll.
Well, that is quite helpful, actually, yes. Because the Kharybdis is sentient? Or it's sentient, right? Not sapient, it's sentient.
Yeah, sentient, not sapient. So animal instinct, not intelligent. Well, hopefully animal instinct, not intelligent instinct. The reason the Imperium uses them at all is that they're pretty sure it's animal instinct, but Kharybdis and Dreadclaws, both of them have not quite an AI, but strongly implied that it may be kind of a feral AI.
Yeah, depending how... Because I'm not too sure how... I have Possibility Shield, so I can get a +10 bonus to a roll if it's trying to...
It's not trying to kill you.
It's trying to survive, so giving it a bonus to dodge out the way of debris or other things.
Conceivably, that would alert you to the Well, I guess...
Yes, no, exactly. Yeah. They would he's using a... And Father would go hold on a second. Hence why I'm umming and ahhing.
I'm going to say we'll get back to Benji's side of things. Yes, so, Benji, who have we got? You're taking in Destroyer cadre. So that's you, Michelko.
And a cadre of destroyers.
Okay, we'll call it a dozen.
That doesn't seem like a very big cadre, but sure.
Yeah, I mean, Magnus is personally shielding you against the warp, and he's taking some Thousand Suns.
Yeah, sure, it doesn't. Can we be armed with psych-out grenades, please?
I don't know if those are going to go super well in the warp.
I mean, probably not, but
I feel like they're just going to functionally burn, fizzle, just so you're aware.
Fine, I mean...
Psych-out grenades are the warp.
Or you use them inside your psychic shield, and that's also bad.
Finally, the psych-outs at home.
Well, no, take the psych-outs, just don't use them in the warp.
I wasn't planning on using them in the warp at any point. What kind of idiot would use a psych-out in the fucking warp?
Ewan was heavily implying that's what you were going to be doing.
What?
I didn't think you
let me just commit suicide randomly on this character. I wish to play a different one.
I mean, do you not at this point?
We've had that before, to be honest. It wouldn't be anything new.
I'm okay with characters suffering dramatic deaths, but I feel they should be dramatic deaths that are diegetic. And at the very least, Coayah doesn't feel ready to die. So we're saying no psych-outs at the moment, it sounds like, basically.
If they're randomly going to explode in the warp because reasons, then sure. But if
I
they're not going to,
I didn't say explode, I said fizzle. I think they would come out as duds, basically. That does not feel like a good condition for the equivalent of getting your powder wet, functionally.
I'll leave them at home. I'll just take some big, nasty melee weapons. Fuck it. Let's just do this.
Okay. So you, Michelko, and your bare dozen members of Destroyer Company. Do we have anyone else in Destroyer? Let's have a look. No one that I can see. Man, we have 2 named members of Destroyer. Okay. You, Michelko, and your bare dozen members of the Destroyer cadre are ushered into a darkened room in which Magnus and several of his more elite captains, gathered from the assorted fellowships, stand. I bid you welcome, Coayah, of the 2nd Legion. The trip we are about to take is, doubtless, going to be a difficult one. I have several rules that you and your men must follow. Firstly, during the ritual itself, I would advise you to keep your eyes firmly shut. The entrance will be traumatic, rendered easier the less of it you are able to perceive. Secondly, once we are in the warp, a path will materialize in some way, shape, or form. Always, always, always stay on the path, even if you lose sight of the rest of us. No matter what else you hear, feel, or see, stay on the path and keep moving forwards. And finally, when we reach the end, do not move through the gate until you hear my voice. Is all of that clear?
Yes.
Magnus's eyebrows knit together ever so slightly at the mildest hint of insolence in your tone. Very well. Then we shall begin. Your eyes, please, Corals.
Just turn off eye lenses.
Your vision blacks out. All around you, you hear the chanting begin to arise. A strange tongue. Not quite what prior generations might have called Gregorian, but slow and lilting, almost melodic. Less a drone and more of a, dare you say it, hymn. It rises to a dull crescendo, and then as one stops, the world fizzles out of existence. And just as quickly you feel a strange hot flush sweep over your skin. Pinpricks stabbing gently at your nerve endings, a dull pressure throbbing from all around you, yet imperceptible in its direction. You feel with some degree of certainty that you have entered the Empyrean. What do?
I presumably follow the path.
Your eyes are currently blanked.
Well, I should probably open them again.
You cycle your eye lenses back on and glance around you. What were you expecting to see?
Probably some kind of path in the midst of clouds. But, don't really have any prior expectations.
The visage in front of you is, if anything, somewhat reminiscent of your home. Where are my notes? Fuck. Of your home in distant Terran Miserica. A sand-blasted wasteland on which sits a single cobbled path stretching off over the horizon into infinity. As you look around, you can see that Michelko and 2 or 3 members of the destroyer cadre are here with you. Michelko turns. And where are the rest of my men?
Presumably they'll appear. Who knows with this damn journey? What a stupid idea.
He resettles his shoulders in a way that makes you sure he's wrinkling his nose. I don't hold with this sorcery.
Must agree on that. In any case, let's get going. On the path we go.
He not quite grunts, almost growls his assent, and falls in behind you. You begin trudging along the path. Trudging along the path. Several uninterrupted hours feel like they pass. And yet, the cobbles seem almost identical, like you're looping over the same texture over and over and over again. One of the members of Destroyer cadre behind you calls out. There, on the horizon to the left. Can you see?
It doesn't matter. Eyes on the path, keep moving.
Is that not Magnus? Another path?
Doesn't matter. Stay on the path.
I'll take a command roll, please.
Was that with any bonuses or modifiers? +0. Yeah, I haven't had to roll command in a little while, so let's see what I've got. So +10, +10. Okay, cool. I'm going to fate that.
Are you sure?
Yes. Yes, I am, because I was rolling at an 80, so that is...
but it's opposite world in the warp, so rolls are backwards.
that actually would have been really funny if we declared that in advance, but unfortunately.
But you didn't.
But you didn't, said Benji with a worried laugh.
Do we want to do the rest of the rolls backwards? I think it's kind of funny. That would have given us a 79 and an 81.
No, because that would mean that
Not this one, but the rest of them.
No, I don't.
Boo, no fun. Okay. I can hear Ollie, trying to suppress his laughter.
I just really want to see that happen.
So... You yell at the man to stay on the path, and for a moment it seems like his foot is about to stray over the boundary. As you insist, Grand Captain. Micuiltotec all but snarls at him. Grand Captain Coayah. The path continues out ahead of you. Another hour ticks past, 2, then 3. The pressure grows slowly greater. The pinpricks at the edge of your skin begin to dig deeper, winkling tiny motes of blood out. You can feel it leaking under your armour. Something high above you seems to block the light from the sun. No, there's no sun up there, just that ambient, strange, deadening glare. Something swooping and circling. What do?
Keep walking, stay on the path.
Micuiltotec glances up. Something up there.
Doesn't matter, stay on the path.
His doubt is clear in his groan. A figure hoves into view not too much later. Something stood astride the path. As you begin to come a little closer, you can see that it is another Marine. A Marine in the turquoise/sea green armour of the 2nd Legion. As you go closer and closer, you begin to recognize individual festooned fetishes and small items of battle damage that mark it out as Legion Master Macuiltotec.
I'm just gonna stand there. Just walk straight, keep walking towards it. This is not real. This realm is not real. Only Will is real.
He's a real nice guy. You should have to trust him.
As you come closer and closer, Macuiltotec's armour begins to resolve in front of you. You can see tiny, microscopic aspects of detail that are so intimately familiar to only you that you are surprised that they're even visible. Tiny little things that you would have seen happen in the heat of battle the many times you've fought with Mackie, but which have long since been buffed out of his armour.
This realm is not real.
And yet, as you approach, the spirit form continues to bar your way. You're within perhaps 20 meters when it calls out to you. Ollie, do you want me to do an impression of you, or do you want me to write out lines for you to read?
Write out lines for me to read. Coayah. Halt. I command you.
If you truly thought that this would sway me, Shade, or whatever you are, you do not know me very well. I'm just going to keep walking.
He's perhaps 10 meters in front of you now.
If I do not listen to the real Macuiltotec, why in the name of the Emperor would I listen to you?
You think to usurp me? Do you think I don't know what you plan?
What does it matter what you think? It will happen one way or the other.
I have seen your future, Coayah.
Have you now?
I have seen your ravening eternity of bloodlust and insecurity.
You know, you're really not making this seem very appealing.
I have seen your ravening eternity of bloodlust and insecurity, of zealous, unaccounting faith.
At that, Michelko kind of holds up for a step, awaiting the sure offence.
As I already said, this realm is not real. So why would anything it says be real?
You are now basically face to face with the Shade.
I'm just going to walk straight through it.
Alright, okay. Ollie, would you care to roll weapon skill for Mackie for me, please?
Yeah, sure. I do not have good weapon skill, just so you know. Do I get plus 10?
You get a plus 20, sir.
So 50 or under. Can I fate point it, but not actually spend a fate point?
No, I'm afraid this does not have fate points. A power sword flashes out of nowhere and comes straight for your neck, Coayah. You're able to dodge backwards with relative ease, having been thoroughly on your guard against the, as you term it, Shade. However, the crackling sparks against your neck and the way it alters the pressure around you feel all too real. What do?
I mean, presumably it wants me to take out my sword and strike it down.
Come now, Night Slayer.
I'm just going to keep walking through it.
Come now, Night Slayer. Do you not think you could defeat me?
Okay.
I do not think I know.
Alright, I'll take an opposed willpower test. Ollie, you get a plus 20.
That's 4 degrees of success.
Get a 1, Benji.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Tied at 5.
That is 4 degrees of sex. That's 4 degrees of success.
4 degrees
Unless I
of
got
sex,
any pluses.
You did not. Most assuredly you did not. You're lucky you're not getting a malice. Yeah, okay, who's got higher willpower?
I've got 30.
Well, 50.
Very regrettably, it actually kills me to say this. That does beat the tiebreak without the need for a roll-off. Coayah, you, having ducked out of the way of the first power sword blow, stride forward once more, and the Shade doesn't dissipate into smoke so much as evaporate into a blowing cloud of skin flecks, sweeping out and around and behind you, forming for a brief instant a swirling cloak of knitted, knotted, flayed skin behind you. Sorry, Ollie?
Oh, I said don't breathe it in.
He's got his helmet on. Not that necessarily makes a difference, to be fair, but, you know, moral support, which does make a difference.
Straight.
I wish I came along and tried to take some blackstone to see what happens.
I imagine it wouldn't take it very well.
That's a bit of a, like, dab of potassium in a lake of water situation.
Oh.
Not very if you're the potassium, you know?
The phosphex becomes
to be so incandescent.
Literally. None of you forevermore.
You continue to advance until you realize...
Michelko, this realm is not real.
As you address him, Michelko is not behind you. Having materialized between you and him, there is another shade. This time, it's Nazeem.
Oh, I'm definitely just walking straight through him. He can't hit shit.
Oh, no. It's behind you, but in front of Michelko.
Well, he presumably just saw me walk straight through the other one.
Okay, so he's going to walk up to it.
You might not have the pure stubborn will that you do.
Begone, shade! Young Nicholas. Yeah. Nazeem snarls in wordless Nazeem snarls in wordless hatred at Michelko. Can I get a weapon skill check at +20, please?
Yarp. +20 is
these +20s are really feeling a bit unnecessary from this demon, really.
So that's going to be, I want to say, so that's me 6 degrees of success. I think no, I got that. 6, not 6. 5, yes.
Who's on 2 degrees of success? On +20.
5 successes. 5 successes.
On +20. Your weapon skill is embarrassingly dogshit.
It's so awful. You're a Space Marine commander.
It's 41 with the +20, so...
I'm judging you.
I'm psykery. That's what I do.
You're a Space Marine.
You used a force sword, didn't you?
Yeah, Space Marine psychers are still expected to lay the smack down.
Oh, I guess I have any pluses for anything else.
No, it definitely doesn't have your gear. It's just...
No, yeah, exactly. So,
Michelko snarls at the shade. The shade snarls back at Michelko, and a thoroughly intact force sword materializes and slices straight towards the Master Destroyer cadre. It chops clean through his right arm and a good deal of his torso. He stumbles sideways, all but falling off the path, when another of his marines throws himself out off the path to shield Michelko and push him back onto the cobbles. The marine has barely an instant of life after that, as he simply dissolves into the ash-cracked sand with nary a scream. A second marine of the 3 spares I think you had with you at this point, behind Michelko, levels his rad gun and blows a hole clean through Nazeem.
Oh?
Why the fuck would you have a rad gun?
Destroyer company.
They don't shoot rad carbines and mechanicum weaponry.
They get rad weaponry in the destroyers.
No, they get rad grenades. They're not the same thing.
They're gonna get a rad gun.
Why? They have access to disintegrators.
With the mechanicum.
I'm giving him a rad gun.
I mean, sure, they're just not as good as other guns.
He shot a clean hole through it, a very dirty, clean hole.
I don't think it's a clean hole when you're using rad weaponry.
I mean, you're more microwave than I would have thought.
That's a Volkite.
Yeah.
Radium weapons are basically like if you took an old cathode ray TV and souped it up a bit.
It's the nuke gun.
So it's more like it spreads your DNA rather than doing any visible damage.
No, it's basically shooting X-rays at you in a massively concentrated form to give you mega cancer.
Yeah. So it shreds your DNA. Doesn't let
That's not what radiation... Never mind.
I feel like I hate to say it, but I'm more on Ollie's side here. That's not giving you cancer. That's denaturizing your DNA, functionally.
I mean, you're going to die long before your nature denaturizes enough to really fucking matter.
You're also going to die long before the cancer matters.
I mean, doesn't shredding your DNA kind of result
Alright, so, we'll pace it. We are all agreed that whatever the exact cause, your DNA do be fucked afterwards.
Yes.
With the
Never
big
mind, can we just get on with this?
Gun. The shade dematerializes with a cackling laugh. The two Marines wordlessly help Macuiltotec to his feet and trudge forwards, following you. You keep moving. Again and again, that shadow plays over you from above, and you begin to hear whispers, shouts, screams, and gunfire drifting in from the distant sides of the desert. More than once you fancy you glimpse Magnus off on parallel paths. A vast, cyclopean scarlet monstrosity, seeming to stretch almost to the sky itself, yet almost infinitely distant from you. More and more, no matter how much you slow to let them keep up, the destroyers fall further and further and further behind until you are walking almost alone. Almost, but not quite. From the air pressure you can feel two somethings behind you, one to your left and one to your right, both off the path. One fills you with bloodlust, a sense of cloying unease, yet divine retribution. The other offers a sense of satisfaction and perfection. A beautiful dream of actually achieving something above the bloodthirsty lot of your gene seed. The bloodied voice speaks first. You don't have to serve them, you know. You're better than all of them, Coayah. Far, far better.
I would agree if you were real, but you are not, and therefore I do not care.
I'm as real as yourself. As real as your friends, as real as your insecurities. I'm you, Coayah. I'm the part of you that roils within every time they force an indignity on you. The part of you that wants to shatter chains and sunder bone. Why do you let them do this?
Does that really need an answer?
The other voice, with a more lilting tone, speaks up. Ignore him. He doesn't appreciate the benefits of loyalty. Servitude is not ignoble in service to a noble cause.
Something I've heard from 1,000 petty lords when they try to justify why they're trying to hold up human unification. I do not care. Whatever you have to say, I reject it.
The lilting voice pipes up. Nothing really. I simply think you only need to hold the course. You are correct. The way you comport yourself is correct. Continue. You know best. The gap.
I'm not just not engaging with it.
Yeah, I'll take a willpower test. You can have a +10. You've done well so far.
That is 5 degrees of success. Fuck you, demons! No, sorry, 4 degrees of success. 16, yeah.
The bloodied voice speaks up. Cowards. Weaklings. You know we could be so much more. I know you're not ready to hear what I have to say. Not yet. But someday I think you will be. And when you are, I want you to reach deep down inside and know that you have the strength to take on the galaxy itself. You can take more than just this legion. The lilting voice pipes up. Ignore the traitor. Loyalty is its own reward. They continue bantering and battering back and forth for some time. Talking to you, talking with each other. Giving glimpses of the past, the present, and the future. All of which you studiously and furiously ignore, letting it wash over you like water off a duck's back. They talk of grand incidents to come, of people you may yet know, and people you'll know no more. But all of it, ultimately, is something that you do your level best to reject. And this time, at the very least, you are successful. You trudge on, completing the first day's long march, and beginning to mentally cycle off elements of your brain, using your catalepsian node, I believe, to get some rest whilst you continue trudging forwards. Destroyer will catch up, or they will be lost. Magnus will be there, or he won't be. All you can do, really, it seems, is keep marching and ignore the world. The shadow from above swoops lower and lower as you proceed. Lower and lower and lower, until it's all but swirling around your head. What to do?
Sorry, did you say a shadow, or just...
Yes, so you've not seen it. It's like there's something swirling just above where your eyeline currently is, but you've been studiously ignoring everything. So, like, you know it's there, but you're deliberately not making a deal out of it.
I'm just going to keep moving forward. If I ignore it, it will go away. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
A sick, belching gurgle seems to drip down from above. Like something trying to speak to you, begging for your attention. But as you continue to ignore it, nothing really resolves. In the distance, you fancy you can see something that might be a dim glow. Perhaps, this time, the outline of Magnus on your path. Oh, Ollie dropped. Well, we'll get him back in a second, I'm sure. Until, haltingly, it manages to judder out a single, solid word. Nazeem.
Going to ignore it and keep walking.
And like that, the shadow dissipates. You gain rapidly on the glow. Within a few minutes, you find yourself at the foot of a gateway, alone. It's a long, low arch, surrounded by a golden nimbus of light. There's no door to it and nothing on the other side, but there's also no one else here yet. What do?
I'm going to wait.
Lights begin blinking all around this particular small, cobbled circle, the pathway that stretches around the gateway. Lights that resolve into small flashes of action. People fighting, people weeping, people smiling, people laughing. Tiny snapshots of humanity. You fancy you recognize a couple of the humans, but you're doing your best not to pay attention to them. What do?
Just going to keep waiting.
I will take a willpower test at that point, please.
It's a fail, but a fail of only 1 degree. Got 2 fate remaining. 1 degree fail isn't bad, but fuck knows in this weird place where you've just killed Michelko, so, you know. Never know.
Are we standing or not standing?
If I kept the +10 from earlier, then I would pass it, but I don't think I did because you didn't say anything in it. So I will keep it because it is 1 degree of failure, so it's not the worst.
I would like you to pick one character you have met or think you are likely to meet in order to gain a portent about them.
Portent?
Mm-hmm.
I will pick Maundraco.
Maundraco? Oh my. Unavoidably, your gaze at one point breaks, your attempts to focus on the individual stones faltering as you allow yourself to momentarily glance upwards towards the horizon, where you see Maundraco. Dear, sweet Maundraco. Maundraco and his bunting. Maundraco, the only member of the Adeptus Astartes you've ever known to really relish a good party. And you all but don't recognize him. He is surrounded by a sea of blood and skulls. His armour defaced, debased, twisted beyond recognition, and his face, his kind, caring face, pulled back into a twisted, anti-mirthful grimace. A sadist taking pleasure in the suffering of another, or many others. In front of him, you see a world. No, a system, no, a subsector seemed to burn. A subsector familiar and yet utterly alien. Great animal-esque horns begin to bloom from Maundraco's helmet. And you manage to break your gaze. A portent of things to come? Or some strange dream? Or most likely just a horrific hallucination spawned by the strange, unreal energies of this place. All you know is you can't quite erase the thought from your mind. Gain 1 corruption point, please. Probably an insanity point as well, actually. Why not? As your eyes snap down, you notice a pair of Thousand Suns in front of you, who seem startled by your sudden arrival. And then within seconds, casting your gaze around, Michelko and one of the other members of the Destroyer cadre. His wound severe and his vital signs distinctly fading, as well as Chief Librarian Ahriman, one of the other leading psykers involved in the ritual. Grand Captain Coayah, I see you made it this far.
Chief Librarian Ahriman, may I just register, right now, that this was the stupidest idea I think I've ever heard for a military operation.
Ahriman bristles for an instant. You're welcome to take it up with Magnus if you like.
I will, thank you.
Well, seconds later, the Primarch himself appears behind the two of you. His presence, like a sudden, almost flashbang effect. The pinpricks in your skin pushing even deeper, the pressure on the nape of your neck seeming to reverse, feeling like your bones are going to pull out of your flesh, your armour torn asunder neath the force of his being. Magnus eyes you and gives you a wan smile. I see you made it mostly intact. Well,
the mostly being a problem.
The Primarch shrugs. A risky maneuver is a risky maneuver. We're not out of the woods yet. The assault begins. And with that, his eye blazes fire. The entire scene glosses over white even through your helmet's filters, and the gateway seems to expand outwards to encompass all of you. Meanwhile, in a drop pod over the capital city of Oriatrith. How are we doing, command crew? You have just about become aware, for the record, that the drop pod has been knocked massively off course. You've been caught right in the teeth of the tornado defences, and that almost the entire command crew is in the same vehicle.
Tough call.
I said almost.
Yeah.
Just going to brace for impact, I suppose.
Yeah.
In my Terminator armour. Find a nice solid bit to lean against.
Look at what Nazeem's doing.
Is there somewhere I can ask for a situation report from anyone, like the Telekine? The Telekines, in fact?
Oh, the Telekines are way too busy right now. You ain't getting anything out of them.
I'm going to shout, brace!
Yeah.
Brace, yes. Brace.
One of the Telekines screams, and the other one, there's a, just about audible over the screaming outside, heavy, and his armour topples from where it was, topples, I suppose, slouches in its restraints. Can I get a Medicaid check from someone, please?
I've not got Medicaid.
Do any of us have Medicaid? I do.
I do not believe so, no.
I suppose, when has that stopped us before?
I would take awareness over perception.
Is this everyone or just from someone?
From any one person in the pod.
Cool.
I think I have high perception.
Yeah, I'm only awareness.
Well,
that's a pass.
Can't roll. Cozcatl, you were sat pretty close to the guy, and a speedy check indicates that he seems to have detonated inside his armour.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, I mean, ow! Actually, no, it probably would. It would have been quite quick, I imagine.
Depends how much pressure was there building up before he did pop, I suppose.
I suppose if he's finished dying yet, or he's just limp.
Battle psychers are not only not common at this point. Sorry, he's not dead, Cread. He's liquefied. And also, battle psychers are not only not common at this point, but your legion literally doesn't field them. So that is a massive what the actual fuck for you at the very least. You just wouldn't have encountered this type of thing.
Oh, God damn it. Now I feel bad.
What for?
Prosperity Shield might have helped him, don't know.
No, don't feel bad for that. It would not. It would not.
Okay, I feel less bad.
But from Cozcatl, a reaction. Either that or you're rolling a fear test, Carl.
I don't even know what's happened.
So he has detonated inside his armour. His meat has liquefied and his bones have exploded.
Yep.
And you have
you just
no
want a reaction from that?
And you have no frame of reference for why that might have happened.
Fuck it, just continue. We're in war, shit happens.
I'm going to take a fear test. No, I'm sorry, I'm taking a fear test for that.
Why not just give me a fear test anyway?
Well, because I wanted to give you a chance to react to that.
On our first deployment, did not 3 Marines just explode from the force of a Promethean tank going off and get similarly liquefied?
Maybe not.
When we assaulted Miranda's Beach, it was literally our first deployment. Yeah, because it was the 02, 01, 03, 05s. And we all laughed at them and stole their gear.
Squad, yeah. That said, 1, Cozcatl wasn't there for that, and 2, that had a rational explanation of they got liquefied in their armour from that. This guy screamed and then mulched.
I didn't know there was a scream or anything, because I figured we crash landed and shit happened.
No, this is you are currently crashing.
Oh, okay, right, that changes things. Yeah. I mean, I can't be asked to do anything differently. I'll just take a fear test. I don't care. Oh.
Well,
I'm not going to say that necessarily manifests as you are shit scared, but certainly you do not like psychers, and this has not firmed up your opinion of them whatsoever. This is some witchy bullshit, and you don't like it.
Okay. I just start, with the exception of Nazeem, because of course, he's the chief psychologian. That's completely different,
Not a psyker as far as you're concerned.
That's what I'm saying.
Weird obsession with
so
brains.
I just start staring down. Like, okay, I've got my helmet on, so they can't see me. But like, no, wait, that's right. I do everything the command crew does, and none of the command crew ever has their helmets on, so like, I wouldn't be wearing it.
The command crew have their helmets on. If you remember, we do the anime eyeglass thing. So you can make facial expressions with your helmet because roleplay.
Yeah. No, it's more for the the intensity of the eyes, you know.
Because I'm picturing like anime eye squint.
I think you're just like big and perfectly circular and staring somewhere.
But you know, like when you kind of like in the seated position, like lean forward, like hands on your knees, like bulldog sort of like posture.
Yeah. So much as you can in the like almost sideways. I mean, you're doing your best to be really pissed off with this guy because like. Fuck me, if the other guy fucks up like this guy just fucked up as badly as this guy just fucked up, your Primarch might die, and also you, and also all members of the command crew you idolize.
Yeah.
Oh, while we're crashing, is there anything we can do to influence the steering of this thing, or does it just go when it's launched?
It just kind of goes.
Focus, commitment, and sheer fucking will?
I guess you could interlink with it, but that would be dangerous.
Can I bridge Nazeem in? It likes him.
I was going to say, I vote Nazeem bridges in.
Nazeem does not have sufficient cortical implants for that, as far as I'm aware, unless he's got a data jack when I wasn't looking.
I mean, what you do is you just got to find a way to data jack into Nazeem, go through Cread, and then straight into the. I mean,
there's no reason an Astartes can't have a data jack. He just doesn't, or at least doesn't have that type of data jack.
Not standard.
Quick, Nazeem, remove some of your armour so we can get your data jacks. Fine, don't worry. Trust me, I'm the Legion commander.
Okay, so in that case, I'm gonna, because I don't want to just stack wipe you all and demand a fate from everyone in the pod. Not least because that would immediately kill Coscatl. Does anyone have any fun pitches on you're in the middle of a disastrous drop pod invasion with not a huge amount of warpy bullshit, but some warpy bullshit? What is going wrong for you all?
Okay, I may have a bad idea. But I
have a bad idea as well.
So
Come out with your terrible ideas, people.
Okay, so I'm thinking maybe we just... Are we through the storm wall yet?
Oh, no, you are... Consider yourself mid-storm, mid-crash, mid-psychic ward, and mid... Worst case scenario, remember, your pod had 2 psykers. Most, if not all of the rest of them didn't, and one of your psykers just exploded. Non-zero chance that the rest of the pods are currently going at twice terminal velocity or more with no onboard psykers.
Okay,
we open the doors and we go out, but I didn't realise we were still in the middle of the storm wall, so maybe that's not the best idea. Because I feel like a suit Terminator armour can probably survive a fair drop. And we can maybe modulate the shields on said Terminator armour to absorb the impact.
The armour would survive, you probably wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm guessing they don't have much in the way of inertial compensation.
And this is less your plans and more suggest a thing that could go wrong for you that isn't me killing you, is what I'm asking. Yeah, it's you collectively. You're Nicholas?
I just have a dumb plan.
Alright, what's your plan?
Which could definitely get vetoed immediately. I use my Might of Heroes to buff myself, and I suggest me and Father act as suspension for the ship.
There's nothing to push against.
Everyone else in the ship, so we cushion the ship's landing with our arms and legs acting as suspension.
When they immediately vaporize when you hit something at terminal velocity of a drop pod. Double terminal velocity of a drop pod.
What if we just jump when it lands?
Yeah, I don't think the physics work out for you there, Nicholas. Even in the very fast and loose world of 40k, I don't think that quite works.
Okay. I was hoping a combination of buffing myself with psychic and Father being a Primarch.
Yeah, Nicholas, Might of Heroes is only like, what, plus 10, plus 20?
It's plus depending on my psi rating.
You are thoroughly falling victim to the chunky salsa rule here.
I'm guessing even a Primarch is falling victim to the chunky salsa rule.
Primarch,
have you tried that shit?
I mean, it's not great for him in that scenario, is it? But yeah, no. So in that case, back to our original thing here. Does anyone want to suggest an interesting fuck up for y'all that would correspond to your 93, 96, whichever one was you guys?
Okay.
93 was me.
No, sorry. Last session, I mean, Carl.
Oh, right.
I have one that involves, it's slow and you'll take some damage, but equally you might get away with it, because these are hive cities, right?
I've got
not
one.
Really. They're more so less like hive cities, and I guess more of your classic civilized world.
I've got one that involves our hyperactive Lehman's Ear and severe malice, or moderate malices to severe malices.
Lyman's Ear, but...
Lyman's Ear. So,
well, let's hear the rest of Benji's.
So mine was going to be that you come down in the middle of, basically, if it was like a hive world, those places are going to have huge treatment plants for the water and stuff to keep it drinkable. Mm-hmm. So you crash straight through that. You'll still take damage, but you're slowed by mile on mile of poo water.
It's
not physical damage, it's emotional damage from landing in the poo water.
That is still physical damage.
No. I mean, you'd still take physical damage.
In fact,
but you take less physical damage.
Not that much less, though. It's the same as I do like the idea, if nothing else, because I feel it is slightly unfair that you're the only member of the command crew who's ever been dunked in feces, and this would bring us up to everyone but Carl. But it is the same as... Sorry, Ollie. It is the same as jumping onto... falling out of a 10-story window into a pool of very deep water. At that point, the water just hits like concrete. Twice terminal velocity, the poo will hit like concrete.
The ground's going to hit like concrete as well.
That's true.
So
Ollie?
the idea is that we... our overactive Lyman's Ear means that we feel a bit disoriented on planets, right? We're perfectly fine in space, but on planets we get a bit fucked up spatially, right?
Usually over time, but yep.
Yeah. So what happens is we are spinning like a top. We are going incredibly fast. We are getting incredibly dizzy, spinning and tumbling as we are. We smash into maybe not hive spires, but we bounce off several, tall city spires or whatever they have, slowing our descent a little bit here and there, sort of glancing blows, causing us to spin even faster.
That's not how that works. Well,
it's physics in 40k. We're doing I'm sure we would in real life just explode into a million tiny pretty parts, but we're glancing blows off glancing blow. We slow our ways down by causing a blaze of trailing fire throughout the city. Maybe
slow your way down by being in bits.
Well, so we come out of the tornado at an angle that means we aren't going quite terminal velocity. The other psychic is first down.
That is not how that works.
I'm afraid there is only one fair way. Oops, sorry, Cread.
I have a simple suggestion, a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, where's my Primarch?
You want to offload it onto the Primarch is thrown clean and clear.
I would say
we're separated from him somehow.
Oh God!
So I would say separations could be a classic.
The problem is not the separation. The problem is you surviving this without just insta-going total party wipe, please burn a fate.
He was asking for an alternate bad thing suggestion, right?
I mean, the only thing I was going to suggest was... The only thing I was going to suggest was after we exit out and we're so thoroughly tumble-dried, we no longer... Our Lyman's Ear so fucked up, we take major malices for fighting and for any concentration-based tasks, like -30s, -40s, until our Lyman's Ear sorts itself out.
I think there's only one fair thing to inflict on the pod at this stage, it sounds like, and that is going to have to be, for this level of difficulty, given the plan that you all willingly went into, we're going to have to do a drawn lot for a lost fate point. So we won't charge it to everyone in the pod. We will take a dice from between the player characters in the pod.
What dice?
Your reinforcement character, so I think you're fine. But that would probably be... I guess that's a D3. We've got 3, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I only got ones left.
Let's hope it doesn't get your number then. Which number do you fancy, Cread?
I want to be number 1.
Can I take Creed's spot as well?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll take 2, I suppose.
2, and you're Nicholas.
I'm 3.
Okay, who wants to roll it?
I'll roll it.
I feel like I'm Legion Commander. Maybe I should roll it, but you know what? Fuck it. Nick, I don't trust you with the dice here.
I want Carl to roll it.
I think
Get very
fair.
condemned man. Okay. Carl, give us a D3.
Sorry, Chris.
It's poetic.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Once again,
I would like-
hit something at extremely high velocity.
Like to voice, I tried to cover Creed's slot as well.
You did, and Ollie tried to present a variety of alternatives, but I think
You tried to cover a slot, but you didn't volunteer to just have the thing deducted from you.
I wouldn't have let him do that either, to be fair.
Oh, well, you didn't say that. It's just like you could have nobly thrown yourself on the fluffed
Benji,
roll grenade.
We've all played with Ewan long enough. We know he wouldn't have let us do that.
It had to be lots, right? That wasn't strictly Nazeem's fault. In fact,
It's my
Nazeem was
Kharybdis.
blamed. It was your Kharybdis, was being the operative term, as your Kharybdis is fired out from the orbiting price of defiance. And within minutes, within seconds, really, you know things have gone badly wrong. The storm wall is still thoroughly up over the capital. And even going at the velocity you are, you're still tossed and buffeted, thrown wildly off course. There is a snarl from Kuzco, who then begins scowling at one of your psykers, which is about the point that the rest of you realize that the other psyker appears to have died. He's laying slumped in his restraints. Father looks like he's not particularly enjoying the drop. You can all but feel his teeth gritted behind his mighty helmet. The other telekine is working as hard as he conceivably can to keep the Kharybdis from going too fast, to slow it down as it reaches further and further and closer towards the surface. Alarm lights blare on as the thing's melter-ram kicks into gear, as it chooses to try and superheat its way through obstacles.
Gonna be right back, so I'll just go and grab some food.
Superheat its way through obstacles, rather than simply ram them. But even that is at best a temporary solution. A partial solution. One, you're still really ramming through a lot of the obstacles, and two, now you're jetting sublimated matter all over the outside of the hull. The machine spirit screaming and cursing over the Vox. An audible, almost vocalized threat as far as Coatlmox is concerned. As it takes damage, then lethal damage, then what may well be damn near fatal damage, you impact something after something after something, blasting through things until a sudden, juddering explosion as the pod comes to a resting halt. All of you black out for a brief instant. The velocities involved and the sudden stop simply pausing your consciousness. The pressure of it all. Physical, not emotional. Though I guess somewhat emotional. Too much for even your enhanced physiques to bear. And when you come to... Coatlmox, it was your lost fate point. Do you want to... what physical malady has happened to you that has caused you to lose a fate point in this drop?
Please just let me keep my limbs this time.
It's your
My
body.
only request.
That's fine, we'll let you keep your limbs. So,
Yeah, I like the idea of your torso being destroyed because your limbs went inwards.
sticking
Yeah, it's
out...
like last fleshy bit.
Sticking out of your upper chest is... You know how the Thousand Sons wear the helmets with the, sort of Egyptian headdress situation? So the psyker who died's helmet has been snapped free and clear. Now there's no marine inside it anymore. And that has speared into your upper chest and is lodged there.
Oh, if only Kuzco were here, man.
My Terminator arm.
Oh, are you wearing your Terminator armor at all?
Of course I am.
God damn it. Okay,
Why don't you
we'll revise it. Okay. So,
I have to ultimately survive anyway, right?
Yeah, you know what? We're going to go with it because the next thing I had was, all right, fair. So what if we, I don't know, like explode the melter ram's charging thing behind you? It's like, but then that'll slag half his Terminator armor. So we're letting the Terminator armor get punctured by the helmet under these extreme conditions, mostly so that I don't have to ruin the Terminator armor to get at you easier. So yeah, there we go, as bits of Thousand Sun drip out of the helmet. All of you are down, and all of your voxes are alight with panicked broadcasts as the drop into the main city has gone absolutely disastrously. What
down as in
do?
Sorry. So down as in on the ground or unconscious?
On the ground. You were all unconscious for, your mission clocks show between 5 and 20 seconds, depending on who you were.
Can I roll a command test over the Vox network to try and rally the troops?
They're not really rallyable right now. They're screaming and dying. So you could, at best, improve their morale before they hit into mountains. If you remember, Ollie, they got also plus 90 on their roll, so this isn't like regroup them territory just yet. This is, they are currently in the middle of what will presumably later be termed the Drop Site Massacre, and then eventually renamed the Lesser Drop Site Massacre, or the... Sorry?
I just had something to add after that. That's all.
No, carry on. What you got?
Coatlmox is dead, right?
No, he's lost one fate point, and it would have killed him if he didn't have any. But he's got...
only fate point?
Yep,
I'm a fateless man now.
Yeah, like, doesn't that kill you? Like, it's one thing I wouldn't bring out.
You don't need fate to survive. You just need you need a fate to burn to survive a fatal thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, aren't you at 0 now?
Yeah,
now
you can survive it.
So if it happens again, he can't burn a fate to survive.
Exactly.
He will just die.
And also, he can never spend a fate,
Yeah, he can never spend a fate.
Oh, okay. I thought PCs had to have at least one fate, and help once it got to critical, then it's
yeah.
Maybe in Warhammer
these actions
Fantasy.
here are what made me burn my fate.
Exactly. So he didn't go from 0 to -1. He went from 1 to 0.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I thought at 0 that counted as fate critical, effectively. Like you have no fate left in the world.
You're fine TM at fate 0. It just means you have no more get out of death free cards, or indeed rerolls.
Okay. Because I know in some systems they're like, well, off you trot.
We're still alive, just maybe a couple of feet shorter.
He's fine as long as you don't put him in another high velocity situation for a while.
Fire him back up to the ship!
That does seem to be, but that's how our fucking Legion works.
Yeah, it is, indeed. Sounds like a Creed's problem. What are we doing, gents?
I'm back.
Oh, God.
Where are we, brothers?
I think we're on the ground. Is everyone in one piece?
Father?
Yes,
Father!
So you look around, you notice a few things. 1, your member of Destroyer Company is in fact alive. 2, your attached Telekine is in fact now dead, both of them.
No.
The second one has been completely wiped through by a spur of rock that came straight through the outside of the shattered, half-melted kharybdis. And 3, that a good chunk of the kharybdis is missing, and with it, Father.
Oh, bugger.
We're to half the kharybdis is gone, or a chunk?
Maybe a third.
A third.
Come on, brothers.
Is it
brothers?
Yeah.
Alright, young Nicholas, then Ollie, then Creed.
Oh, yeah.
Can I tell if its machine spirit is still alive in any way, shape, or form?
Your attached tech marine could.
Brother Coatlmox, could you check if the kharybdis has its machine spirit still?
I take a tertiary glance at it, then look at Nazeem. It's gone, brother.
If it was just the chunk ripped out of it, maybe there's something you could do. But, you can tell from where you are and the bits of the hull you can see from the outside, it was more or less flayed down to the bone and then split into 2 massive chunks. I take a moment, put my hand on it, and say, serve you well.
I will put a hand on Nazeem's giant shoulder.
I'm just going to imitate Nazeem and put a hand on the kharybdis. And then find someone to console in some way.
We need to get our bearings.
Yes.
Fist in palm, sort of like, yeah.
What's the name of your character again, Carl?
Kuzco.
Kuzco?
Yeah.
I look down at you. I'm sure you're not in Terminator armor. Are you in Terminator armor?
No, they didn't. I didn't win the fight for the one set of Destroyer termie armor.
Look down at you.
For whatever reason, you're not audible, Ollie.
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
now we can hear you. Sorry, you were talking. I saw you say a couple of things on webcam, and we just couldn't see you. Couldn't hear you.
Okay, no worries. We can hear you now.
Cool. So, what are we doing, gents?
I'd say try climb a tree, but I know it's not possible in any of our armors.
I mean, presumably,
any
heads-up display, we can contact the ship above, right? Can we contact the...
I think our comms were buggered, weren't they? Or were they just
your
flare?
Comms are currently pretty buggered. The channels are jammed up with dying marines, dying drop pods. The tornado isn't doing you any favours, and there's weird psykery bullshit happening. It's not inconceivable that you could contact the ship, but functionally it'll be difficult.
Brothers, I'd suggest we try to find our father before, so you have some sort of regrouping done before moving forwards.
Can I look through the live recording all our helmets have, or at least my helmet,
if
and
you
see...
remember, we removed that functionality because in universe it was... it gave a lot of incriminating footage, and out of universe it made things really difficult when everyone was recording everything at all times.
Oh, yeah, okay, fair. Does anyone remember when the side Father was on dropped blew up? Does anyone remember this?
Can I use my synaptic link, please, for Primark?
Fuck me, he does have that. That's it.
I can locate the Primark.
He does have his Primarco.
It costs 1 insanity per use, but
I think doesn't it also cost a shitload of corruption per use?
No, it's 1 insanity. That's it.
1 insanity.
Maybe
it caused him corruption when he first did it, because he wrenched free a chunk of his soul and is a psyker and should not leave gaps like that.
I heard disdain in your voice there, and really felt it there.
But yes, to answer your question, Ollie, the sort of resounding or the Space Marine equivalent of from all around, as really the last sort of 30 seconds to a minute were nothing but screaming, tearing metal, death over the radio, death in your pod. At least 3, in fact, if we count Coatlmox, which, kind of we do. Just this nightmarish, hellish, probably the worst drop of your ever career. The live drop into the combat zone of Venus was smoother. At least that your transport got out. Did your transport get out? No, transport was down.
Our transport got down. We got into another one that just happened to be in...
That is true, yes. But, even then, more Marines seem to survive.
But even this time, more of our Marines got through the Mortarians, if I remember rightly.
Mortarian didn't drop. He
dropped, didn't he drop those?
No, Mortarian hasn't even reached high orbit over the planet yet. You surprise launched. You have taken...
No. The first time he did an assault on the planet, I swear you said he dropped a load of people and he the first wave that Mortarian... Sorry, I thought you meant this time. Mortarian's first attempt did get battered aside. However, whilst the northern group got through mostly unscathed, and the southern group got, I think, 60-40 losses to people getting through, what happened to you this time is more or less what happened to Mortarian the first time. Yeah, well, we got 4-3 this time. And also...
Not necessarily.
Privately, very deep inside Mackie's psyche, he's thinking, well, at least it was mostly the murder on those drop pods. It
was a mixed group of a lot of murder and a lot of...
We've got the ratios down.
We do, and it was only slightly mostly the murder. You're making it sound like it was 90%, and it was like 60% murder.
It was... I can't remember where it was, but it was like 70% murder, 20% tactical, 10% havoc. Because havoc...
Let us focus, brothers.
Oh, what's that song?
Full pace.
It's raining men. Hallelujah.
The one where it's like percentages of stuff, and it's one of the like
99% skill.
Yeah, like that. That's the one.
15 concentrated power of will, 5%
pleasure,
15% plain, 100% reason to remember the name. Don't ask me how I know.
That's it. The songs remember the name. Right. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I remember the fucking Homestuck variation for some reason. Yeah, no, I've got it here, Ollie. It's so it was essentially 2 murder for every 1 non-murder marine, with the 1 non-murders being 7 to 3 tactical to havoc.
Yeah, so basically my guys are fine.
So as I say, it was like that's 66%, not 60%, but yeah, it was not almost entirely murder, which is why I was making the distinction. So, to focus, you can see through the gap outside that the city has been somewhat heavily damaged by your attack, by the attack before that, and by not a small amount of, not orbital bombardment from ships, but like high-level stratospheric bombardment. And a city it is, not a hive, but a city of strange, horizontally oblong, gleaming spires, like nothing so much as smooth, bone-white pebbles stacked on top of each other. Many of them shattered, but more than a few standing tall and straight, not unfathomably tall, but tall enough to have a certain sense of majesty above long, wide-rimmed boulevards, some of them immaculate, some of them thoroughly shattered. Your drop pod has clearly come to rest somewhere inside one of these evidently more robust than they appear buildings. What do?
Brothers, we have 2 priorities. First, recover father. Second, regroup with surviving Marines in our sector, if possible. We shall then move towards the point we described and try and meet up with Coayah.
Oh, great.
I agree these points are important, brother. If we survived the crash, father surely did.
I'm sure he did.
I desire glory, brother. Like make up for our landing.
I'd like to, at this point, use my my Primarch link thing. My Primarch Omniscience.
Phrase, make up for our landing. All 4 of you can see outside of your drop pod through the massive gap another drop pod, not coming down vertically as it's meant to, but sort of rotating rapidly around its axis horizontally. So it's basically lopsided as it careens and crashes straight through the top of another building. It comes out the other side, burning and frayed, and you see tiny figures splay and spray out from inside it. Marines shattered to the ground.
Tears are running down Macuiltotec's cheeks. They can't be seen. But he takes the lion's share of responsibility for this. It was a joint plan that he authorized it. He allowed for it to happen. Seeing his brothers like this is almost more than he can bear.
There we go.
Nazeem's just angry.
And as you begin to tap into that sense of anger, if you'd like to take an insanity point, you feel a deep wellspring of connection, a longing, a sense of undefinable pulling, tugging you along out and in a direction somewhat north and east of here.
So, I want to ask this, and tell me if this is metagaming. I feel like I have a good enough idea of, maybe if it is, but is there any chance I feel this connection between Nazeem and the Primarch, in the sense of just like rising hair on the back of my neck, or anything like that?
Maybe if this were a moment of supreme calm, I can see that. As it is, you're a Marine in a very bad battle and under battle conditions. So even if the battle was going well, you'd probably be on a decent-ish cocktail of combat drugs. But yeah, no, certainly not now. And it would probably be quite subtle even for psykers unless they were looking for it.
That's fair. I was just wondering one thing.
I believe I saw a father flying out northeast of here.
To the northeast it is we shall head. We should try and regroup with any Marines we can along the way. Find father. We'll then head towards our initial target. Meet up with Coayah and decapitate the head of the snake. Or whatever the snake analog is in this 30th century. Millennium, probably.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the 300th century. Technically it's the 301st century. In the distance, another drop pod spikes into a mountain, exploding in a distant flower of red and orange.
Every time this happens, Mackie shudders. He flinches, grimaces, and bites his lip hard enough to draw blood.
Grimaces. If you didn't know better, a tiny, niggling part at the back of your mind whispers, you'd say Coayah proposed this plan deliberately.
Whose idea was this again, brother?
Wasn't it Coayah's?
It was a joint plan between myself and Coayah.
And yet I think even you can hear the slightest hint of doubt in those words.
Well then, brothers. We've got all the more glory to make up for, eh? And all the more enemies for us.
We shall avenge our brothers' deaths in the blood of our enemies.
Let us get father and get us some skins!
So, do you want to do the line, Nicholas? Skins for?
What is it? Skins for what?
Skins for the Emperor.
Skins for the Emperor.
Well, the traditional call and response your Legion has adapted is skins for the Emperor, skins for the Legion Master.
Ah, that's it, okay. Skins for the Emperor!
Skins for the Legion Master.
Skins for father.
I raise one fist with... I think I equip myself with essentially a minigun, an assault cannon, and all that shit.
I think you'd be on a Reaper autocannon at this point. Assault cannons
I think I already asked double Reaper autocannons when I realised I wouldn't be able to use one of my hands for, things.
You can't with an assault... Oh, no, assault cannons can. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, no, assault cannons are late heresy. They used to, I swear to God, used to not even be available in the heresy, but I might be wrong there.
No, you can get the Elastus pattern assault cannon, but it's very, very rare.
I am Legion Master. I can probably get one.
I'm gonna continue to say it's Reaper autocannon at this point. Thank you.
Skins, blood, lives.
Would you say it matters not from whence the blood flows?
Therefore, with that blood. I was just check real quick. We haven't talked about it, but I'm assuming since I don't have my Force sword, I'm assuming I have a power sword right now.
Yeah. Everyone's really happy you finally traded it up. The other one, you told everyone it was Archeotech, but people weren't super sure as to whether it was
very good. When I used it, it was phenomenal.
And yet it did look a bit like a piece... Well, it looked like a power sword, but not a fancy power sword.
Yeah,
the cheap side.
I need to get it remade. Actually, I saw them on the Thousand Suns ship, surely.
We all saw them on the Thousands.
Oh.
You probably don't want to draw attention to
that.
Yeah. So, meanwhilst, Coayah, the Nimbus expands, and in a feeling not dissimilar to teleportation's older, nastier cousin, you find yourself in the inner sanctum of a large, low temple. The roof above, streaked with strange details, seemed to model something like the interior of a shell. like some strange sea creature. With you are 4 members of the Destroyer cadre, a very heavily wounded Macuiltotec, and what appear to be most, if not all, of the Thousand Sons, as well as Magnus. There are a scattered few attendants in here, all of whom look extremely surprised to see you. What to do? Benji?
Sorry, you roboted rather hard for me there.
Oh no, at what point did I cut out?
Something about Magnus, and I didn't really hear much else other than that.
Basically that 4 members of Destroyer cadre got out of the warp, as well as a very heavily wounded Macuiltotec, Magnus, and basically all, or at least most of, the Thousand Sons. You find yourself in the inner sanctum of a temple. It's got a sort of shell-like architectural... Sorry, I'm speeding through this a little bit because I've just done it. Like a sort of... like the inside of a sea creature's shell, like texture to the structure of the interior, and the scattered room is home to several very bemused-looking attendants. What do?
I'm just going to smile and know this is better. Back to reality. Out come the hell are they called? Our chainswords.
Macuiltotec pattern chainswords.
Out come the Macuiltotec pattern chainswords. Take what prisoners you like, Lord Magnus. I'm going to enjoy this bit.
Magnus raises a staff, and a bolt of pure white lightning streaks out and strikes several of the nearby attendants. There'll be time to take prisoners after we've secured the area. In the meanwhile, let us make war.
I'm going to charge.
Okay. Double check on the Macuiltotec pattern chainsword. Very happy for you to have them. You're in your power armor, right?
Yes. Well, my artificer armor.
Yeah,
yes.
artificer armor, sorry. I think you did have the Legion sword that you had commissioned for Mackie.
Oh yeah, I had the Paragon blades.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm
to be fair, those were Macuiltotec. I suppose they're just Macuiltotec power blades, though. So
yeah.
Who did you commission for?
He had them commissioned for you, but I think I forget the exact circumstances, but he did explicitly have them returned to him when you were winning the election. Oh, yeah, I think he asked you, in fact, and you went, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. So he's not the Onyx Marshal, you never appointed one of those, but he definitely has those swords. So it's up to you whether you want to be on your... Depends how visceral you want it, basically, Benji. Do you fancy... are we in a rip and tear mood, or are we in a slice and sizzle mood?
I'm struggling to comprehend the difference. Like, is one just with more fire?
One is a chain sword, one is a power weapon. I'm saying it's ultimately up to you.
I think they're going to be power weapons, to be fair.
One's Chipotle, and the other one's that Brazilian steakhouse where it's just chunks of meat they rip off the side of the...
Understand the metaphor, Ollie, but I'm happy that you're happy with it. Sorry, I'm not saying that the Paragon blades have to be chain blades, Benji. I'm saying that if you still wanted your chain blades, you could have them.
No, I think they're just going to be power blades.
Okie dokie.
I need to be my AP2.
Right, well, most of these people are wearing robes, so this is going to be a time. You are currently loose in the inner sanctum of the capital, and your Vox network is alight with death and destruction and dismay. The drop pod assault above you, as far as you are aware, sounds like it is going disastrously. That said, as a distraction, it is working marvellously. There's no one in here. What is your strategy? What are you looking for?
Sorry, there's no one. She said there's no one in here.
Other than the acolytes. Sorry, there's no one meaningful in here. Like, you were concerned that if you remember, you were concerned that you would turn up and immediately face, like, the full might of witchery that they had. And they had, like, a dozen terrified acolytes, 3 or 4 of whom got ashed by Magnus within seconds of you turning up, and the rest of whom are not going to offer serious resistance to the bolters that you'll have with you, let alone your
I presume we're in the bow. I presume we're in a building somewhere.
It is a temple, yes. You are in the central chamber of a temple.
Okay, which means there must be important people around here.
Makes it, yeah.
In which case, I'm going to kill everyone between me and them.
Okay, I really hate to ask this because I feel like it's going to continue to justify Ollie's bullshit munchkinery, but how are you deciding who is most important?
I was probably the one that looks the blingiest or the fanciest.
By the size of their hat.
By any chance. Damn it.
By the size of their hat.
No, not necessarily. This could be a religious order that doesn't have hats.
The very idea.
What I'm saying is I'm very proud I managed to change someone's entire way of displaying characters because of my playstyle.
I mean, that's basically the orc playstyle as well.
I mean, it was the done thing in various, battlefields, you know?
Hit the guy with the fancy hat.
It's not like you changed warfare.
Yeah, famously, Lord Nelson was killed because he wouldn't stop wearing all his medals.
It is why they stopped making such distinctive officers' uniforms as the guns got more accurate.
I didn't even know this. This is my natural instinct just to aim for the hat. The biggest, fanciest hat.
So what you're saying is if the hat's big enough, you'll just hit hat, and that's it.
I mean, that is the other side of the argument, yeah.
I feel like you look for the hat but still shoot centre mass.
Yes, you would, yeah.
What if it's a decoy?
Well, then you know what? I've tried this, and statistically what winds up happening is Ollie will shoot everyone who has a hat, because it doesn't take that much longer to shoot all people, just to be certain. All you've done is set up a priority target order. It doesn't actually delay the person with the biggest hat getting killed much.
No, a priority order means that the big person with the biggest, fanciest hat does get killed.
Shall we get on?
Okay, let's have a Coayah roll here, I think. I'm going to call this scrutiny over weapon skill, I guess?
Fair. I was also debating whether or not I should just go into a battle frenzy and kill everything in front of me.
You can. You've got the stuff for it, right? You even have controlled frenzy, I believe.
I do have controlled frenzy because I've got battle rage.
So I'm going to say you've got plenty of time for it.
I'm just going to show off. I'm going to go full frenzy mode. I really didn't like the warp, so I'm going to make myself feel better.
You've showed a lot of restraint over what was, for you, the better part of a day up to a day and a half, even if you were in there for, at best, a couple of minutes. Yeah, there's an amount of emotion to work off, some frustration, glimpses of futures, not futures, lies, things that totally aren't real. None of that could be real. What the hell would a random, disgusting voice in the warp want with Nazeem anyway? No, that didn't happen. Shut up. Strange dreams. Strange dreams. Okay, I'll give you a plus 20. Well, and you've got the Paragon Blade. Yeah, we'll call that a plus 30.
Is that for going into the frenzy or just doing everything?
I will let you go into the frenzy for free. You have due cause and plenty of time.
Charge! Well, with the plus 30, and the fact I would be charging, although I suppose this isn't structured combat, so that's 85 goes to 20, 6 degrees of success.
6 degrees of success. Were you at 90 or under?
No, I was on 85 or under.
Oh, fair. Okay.
If we were doing structured combat, I would have been 90 or under.
Yeah, we're not.
But, yeah.
6 degrees of success. Give me a war cry, Coayah.
I don't really have one prepped. You know what? Just to make Magnus shudder as if from another world, I'm just going to let out a howl.
Yeah. I don't know why, but that makes me rather uneasy.
Suddenly he feels a pain in his spine. He does not know why.
So, with that, Coayah charges. An acolyte goes down, and like a frenzy, he's into the next room. A pair go down here. One cloven straight through, the other punched so hard in the face, his teeth explode through the back of his skull. The violence erupts. An orgy of bloodshed. Thousand Suns slaying behind you. Macuiltotec pumped with so many combat drugs that he's not only able to stand, but able to continue fighting. Forced onwards by his spite and his hate and his disdain. His destroyers with him, all conspicuously trailing him as he trails you throughout the complex. It's not too long before you find your first serious opposition, running down a corridor towards you. A man with a shaved head, covered in spirally strange script, not tattooed so much as inked over the skin, seeming to flow and swirl, forming new and strange letters and combinations, words that make your eyes hurt to look at them. Green fire crackles at his fingertips, and as he inhales, you can all but feel the breath of purest gale shuddering up from his lungs. A tornado contained within a man. 6 degrees of success, right?
Yep.
You watch the wind begin to bubble up through his throat, but it never has a chance to reach his mouth, as your paragon blade flies briefly out of your hand and into his throat, popping it. Like a balloon with a hole in one side, the air ricochets out through the man's gaping neck wound, and he flies backwards, propelled by the force of his own throat-held spell. Your paragon blade being... Sorry?
Oh, so by any chance to me, they're like... sort of sound.
If you can, layer in the sound of a man dying and give it the deep, bassy force of a tornado, not entirely unlike that.
Oh, actually, in my mind, I kind of can. And shit.
Bearing in mind, the man's being stabbed in the throat, but it's not actually, severed his spine, so he's aware through all of this, so his eyes are wide as he's flung backwards, blood fountaining out and blasting to either side in a mighty cone of wind and gore.
That suddenly got more real. Shit.
The sword has obviously been blasted out by the force of the gale, skidding neatly across the floor back towards Coayah, who scoops it up along his way and lays into the man's stunned attendants, cutting them to pieces. One psyker down, and now you know how they fight. Okay. What's your goal on this infiltration mission, Coayah? Are you looking to cause as much damage as possible? Are you looking to show off to the Thousand Suns? Are you looking to blow off a little steam? Are you looking to stealthily kill Macuiltotec? Are you looking to prevent the Thousand Suns from acquiring forbidden knowledge? Kill some witches? What are we doing?
Causing as much chaos and distraction as I can, whilst also showing off.
This is what I think of your witchy bullshit, Ackerman.
We need wishes when you have swords.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you know what? Should we do an opposed Araman's willpower versus your weapon skill? Let's see who successfully shows up.
I suspect he might have higher weapon. Oh no, I'm supposed to get a +10 from being in a frenzy, don't I?
So I think you're capping out at either 85 or 90, and he's going to be 90, but he does definitely have unnatural willpower. So if he passes, he will get...
It's Araman having unnatural willpower.
I know, what a surprise, right? But he might still fluff it, and/or you might still beat him.
Okay, yeah, let's do this shit.
All right.
5 degrees of success, so it's good.
Literally can't be, can it? Wouldn't it max out at 4?
Oh, yeah, no, sorry, 4, because I got to 9. Yeah, 4 is... I'll keep it.
Okay. Come on, Harry, baby.
100.
So that'd be...
I think he still beats me.
Yeah.
He has at least unnatural 2.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Araman.
That's gonna be 2 times... Yeah. So he does beat you, but not in a, you are fucked way. Beats you in a, The two of you form an overlapping symphony of death. Ahriman blasting this way and that with his mind, his powers out in the open. There's no sense in keeping to subtlety after his Primarch walked you both through the warp. And you, likewise, fighting the witches on equal terms, bellowing with hatred and anger, and frankly, above all other things, frustration, an aura Ahriman is able to read, and chooses, probably quite wisely, not to question exactly here and now. The temple begins to swarm with witches and attendants, with the local guard, with soldiers. Magnus is nowhere to be seen. Most of the Thousand Sons are gone. It's Ahriman and a few of his chosen marines, as well as yourselves. So that's you, a very heavily drugged up Michalco, and his four remaining members of Destroyer Company. Cadre. Down to 3 after one of them is blasted off into the sky by a particularly powerful gust of wind from one of the weather witches. I mean, maybe he'll survive, but there's a tornado going on above, so probably spiked into a mountain. You may not be a psychic fighter, but you're certainly going toe-to-toe with relatively powerful psykers. And with a degree of bravery and a fair amount of effectiveness. For all that they may be capable of hurling drop pods from the sky and defending their world from oncoming orbital attackers, they really do seem to struggle when presented with an enemy within sword distance. Meanwhile, the rest of the party. What is your plan? You are halfway up a building. You are going to trudge northeast after Father, who is currently being spiritually tracked by Nazeem, whose fate to the saying, I think I saw where he landed. And the invasion above you is going horrifically.
Let's go.
You go, Cread.
I was just saying, let's go. Northeast.
You are currently halfway up a building.
Try and get off the building.
How high is the building?
You are not jumping off it, brother.
Like 4 or 5
we are
stories.
walking down and making holes in the floors if needed.
Holes and floors it is. We're in a rush.
Do any of you have power fists?
Starty's chains fist, yes.
I guess that. I mean, it's not a power fist, but I guess that counts.
I mean, if anything, more.
It is more effective in this scenario, but it is also.
I never go without it.
Brothers, gather around in a circle. Brother Nazeem shall drop us lower.
Let's go! Just down. Probably like, nice like, spiral kind of corkscrew down through the buildings. We're not like, you know the Minecraft rule, never dig directly down? I'm doing that.
I have actually never played Minecraft.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never dig directly down, because you'll just, like, buckle the floor and then fall into lava and die. Therefore, you dig diagonally, therefore you see the floor before diving down.
Okay. Within a few minutes, you have arrived on the floor of Oriatrit's capital city. The ground level, if you will.
Oh, can I put like a little... is it possible like a little GPS marker of remember this spot? Doesn't have to go to anyone right now, but so I can like tag this spot for half a kharybdis retrieval. I know it's machine spirit's dead, but
the machine body lives on.
Exactly. And if nothing else, I want it memorialized. If nothing else.
There's no reason you couldn't have it, like, displayed in the library.
Exactly. That if you can't get back to operating capacity,
Sorry, I like how
somehow.
I like how Ewan said, "There's no reason you can't get displayed in the library." He said, "With hidden machinations behind the victim of chaos inside the library."
In my experience, I do not need to really tempt young Nicholas into chaos.
Oh, really?
If anything, I fancy myself as serving a little bit of a, commissar with the Kriegers role. It's more about preventing him from running headlong into chaos too fast.
Yeah, it's the accidental, you're going to the bathroom, open the door, someone hasn't locked it, it's like, oh, sorry, chaos, didn't mean to barge in.
Because I know you're not trying to do it, but you do have a way.
No, that just killed me. That fucking slayed me.
Sure,
yeah.
you can drop a marker here, Nicholas. You probably also can find the kharybdis afterwards as well.
Just in case.
Okay. And then the gale is howling up above. A few scattered drop pods, and I mean probably less than half a dozen, including yours, have made it down to the surface, and the city is in a full-on panic. You can already hear explosions and see shots and fire coming from a large central temple that looks like nothing so much as the outer shell of a mollusk towards the west. What do?
I suspect our brothers. We saw them land inside the pseudo mollusk, right?
No.
We just hear shots coming out of it.
Yes, you will remember you are the distraction attack for an insertion that Magnus was running.
Yes, I know. But I still want to save as many brothers as possible, and even Terminator armour and such can get overrun with firepower at some point, depending on what sort of firepower it is.
Yes, but we should probably get Father first.
How far away do you think Father is, brother?
Can I tell?
Remember, you don't get distance, just direct.
Didn't think so. It's hard to tell. He did get flung after all. Didn't see where he landed, just the direction.
Our knowledge of Father as a combatant means that he is almost certainly immune to whatever will be facing him. I'm sure he is fine.
Yes, but getting Father to where he needs to be is another story.
We should help our Marines. There are few of us. There are many of them.
We are Marines. The ones that have landed will be fine, brother. We should rally around Father.
Many of the ones who landed aren't fine.
Do you doubt their capabilities, brother?
Another drop pod spikes into a building behind you, detonating in a cloud of hot metal.
I don't think I doubt our abilities. It's more, I doubt the drop pod's abilities to cushion many tens of thousands of feet fall, uncontrolled. We shall detour. We shall help our brothers. We shall bring them with us, and then we shall go find Father. Father will be fine.
That's the opposite direction, brother.
It shall be a slight detour.
If we go the other way, we are bound to lose where the Father is.
How many minutes has it been since we last saw him?
How
long did it take us to drop through? And how long will it take us to find him? You only have a direction. You don't even have a distance. We shall find him by following the trail of blood. That shall surely be in his wake.
A little voice at the back of your mind bristles at this, Nazeem. All the help and support you've given Mackie through the years, and he's countermanding you here, now, on something as basic as wanting to rescue your father before you rescue a bunch of strangers from the Thousand Suns? Can Magnus not also look after his own?
I put my hand on Nazeem's shoulder. Our brothers, they're not as powerful as Father. Father can survive whatever is thrown at him, including us. And we have survived that.
I do not doubt Father's survivability.
Do you think he may still have a bead on him in several minutes? How long will it take us to get down to the mollusk?
Varies. Depends how much resistance you meet along the way.
As you say, I'm sure he shall leave a path. I'm sure we can find him.
Don't worry, brother. We shall find Father. He is more than likely enjoying himself right now, knowing him.
And I'm going to call a slight pause on the conversation there, as we are actually at Seshcat. So I think that's a good place to leave it for the week. Does anyone have any reminders for next session?
Is it just like my proactive is it like I have a bead on him and I can track, or a ping and then done?
I think it's a ping, but it lasts, so you functionally have it for the rest of this time zone-ish. So you might not have it tomorrow, unless that's really part of the scene, but it's not going to run out in a few seconds or a minute or two.
Yeah. Is it worth basically remindering? So yeah, I've spent an insanity on Primarch Link.
Cool. Anything else?
So I guess I got 2 reminders. One is we're going towards the Mollusk Marines, or the Mollusk Fight Out, I think. And the second one is I've taken partial blame for the plan. It may have been Coayah's idea, but I approved it.
It was Coayah's idea, but I would also point out I was the one who said I'll go down in the drop pods.
I mean, there's a moot point at this avenue.
It is, but
Reminder that is Nazeem wants to go find Father.
Yep.
Anything else?
Be as infuriatingly ingratiating as possible.
Oh, God.
I keep, for pretty much all of that session, I forgot that I had a character down there. It was just every time it's something was when you ask me, it's oh, what do you want to do? How do you want to react? I'm like, what are you talking about? Back on the Price of Defiance, fuck off. Actually, a reminder, I have a character in play. So yeah.
Fair. Anything else? Benji, is there anything you'd noted down about your situation?
Yeah. Continue trying to show off and beat Araman. It probably won't work, but
You do get points for trying if you try well and hard, to be fair. Anyone got anything else?
Tell Magnus his plan sucked!
That's gonna go so fucking well for you.
Well, it did.
Anyone got anything else? Oh, cool. In that case, feedback, anything you liked, anything you disliked, anything you'd like to see more of, or less of next time.
Yeah, so when you were describing about Beatty's sliced throat, and I'll be honest, yes, it was partially a joke, but I was also partially being serious about the sound the neck makes when it deflates. And I thought you springboarded off that very well to really make the scene much more visceral.
I'm glad. Thank you. I thank you for bringing it up. I feel like I was struggling with that, and having the thing to spark off it made it work much better. It's one of the reasons I always like describing gore around your Nicholas's kills or fuck-ups, is because he gives good, oh, no, not this, haha, yes, this, and in fact, the other as well, GM noises. So that, very much appreciated the input. As you say, I know, as you say, you were doing it half-jokingly, but only half. It was the visual I think we all had.
It's just when you mentioned the balloon aspect of it, it's just I can't not see it in my mind.
Exactly, right? That's how you picture it. Surprised balloon man.
Oh, lordy.
Gets his throat anime cut by Coayah. No, you don't, you fucking witch!
Wait a second. Secretly a weeb.
Coayah has a lot of anime moments.
Yeah.
They happen pretty consistently.
I mean, the whole title Night Slayer and how that whole fight panned out, that's pretty fucking weeby.
I mean, right?
A lot of Coyah's moments are pretty weeby. It's not uncommon for him. Who's our next weebiest character? I don't think we've got anyone close. Sorry?
Might be Nick.
I don't think he has many weeb moments, is the thing. I feel like our next
moments,
in terms of big action set pieces, Coatlmox gets the next most, I would say, but they're not really weeby. They're often more slapstick by way of Invincible.
I feel like my character, if it was an anime, is always the one in the background who has to push his glasses up his face as he laments the foibles of other people. He's also wearing a lab coat.
I would sometimes agree with you and sometimes very strongly disagree. It varies. Any other feedback?
That was a fun session.
I'm glad. How do we feel the warp stuff went?
That was enjoyable. Like, it was cool to see an interpretation of the warp I haven't necessarily experienced before. Not a chaotic place. Controlled, but in a freaky way, kind of. It was interesting. I liked it.
I mean, I was surrounded by demons the entire time.
But you're also under Magnus's aegis the entire time.
Fucking Magnus.
It was a great plan. It was an excellent plan. What could possibly go wrong? Never mind the, 6 Marines you lost in transit, all of whom souls got eaten.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how many of those Marines didn't make it?
They went in with 10. They came out with 4. Sorry?
We went in with 12.
Oh, yeah, sorry, 8.
This destroy squad needs some more malcontents to go with it, then.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where,
Sorry.
Again, it's one of those ones where that was a 2/3 loss of manpower before we even got there.
For your guys, the Thousand Sons got through pretty much okay. And I guess Michelko would be a non-combatant if he didn't refuse to embarrass himself in front of Coayah. But yeah. No, I'm glad it went down okay. I like the warp as many things, and, Ravening Hellscape warp is also fun and definitely also has its place. Didn't feel like that was very much how I wanted to do things here. I really appreciated Cread in the background, very obviously chomping at the bit to engage with the slightest bit of demonic content. Really surprised we didn't get so much as a reaction gif from young Nicholas when there were demons there going, yeah, go on though, go on. As Coayah fucking Orpheus is his way through the situation.
I thought it was a Coayah moment, and I didn't want to do anything to spoil it.
Look, this realm cannot harm me. My lord, I've been grievously injured. This realm is not real.
I did
his fucking arm off. Not real.
I didn't want to.
I was straight up expecting it just to be like, the sword's going to pass straight through him. It doesn't matter.
Oh my no!
I didn't want to belittle the kind of stoic image that Benji was portraying.
Oh, that's fair. That's appreciated. I mean, I know you did post a picture of a nurgling when a mysterious voice was chatting at.
I couldn't help myself. That was I just this image. This is this chirpy little nurgling going, look at me.
Well,
I like Nurgle.
I think we described it as bigger than, or at least implied it was a larger shadow than the average.
It was a large shadow, but for some reason, it's this just Nurgle version of a little, or they're the little baby angels. Chirpy? Shriffins, yeah. Just a Nurgle version of them, just slowly going down.
And fucking asking for a portent of Michelko, the one character in the entire bloody thing, other than the, pre-written canon characters, the one custom character we have who actually has a fate. Was that deliberate, or were you just trying to pick a safe target, Benji?
It was deliberate. I was what would be a funny one to go for?
Michelko, who falls to chaos.
But now his character knows.
Well, sort of. It's burnt into his memory, but he was clearly repressing the shit out of it.
I mean, it's clearly not real.
Post-editing Ewan here. It's actually Mondrago who the portent was for, not Michelko, but the rest of the conversation is talking about Michelko.
Clearly.
Michelko there with his new robot arm, Coayah continually insisting it's fake news. He cut his own arm off.
Actually, is that a small retcon? Is it that in the foretelling he had a robotic arm or something?
No, he had 2 arms at the start, and then your shade cut one of his arms off.
Oh, then it was I got you.
Yeah, and Coayah just refuses to acknowledge that because none of it was real. Therefore, that didn't happen, or at least didn't happen in that way? ? Maybe he cut his own arm off. I don't know. Coayah doesn't have to make sense. Coayah just has to kill.
I didn't see that much of I clearly didn't see that much of Michiko inside the warp. Clearly he lost his arm in the fighting.
Now, whilst I think you definitely did at least see or hear that, that's not to say you can't tell yourself that you didn't. Who's to say what you didn't see, or what you saw that was even real? Maybe he did lose his arm in the fighting. Maybe. So, questions? Anything anyone was narratively unsure of in that session? Is everyone following the plot?
Seemed pretty straightforward to me.
Yep.
Anyone else want to go on a walk anytime soon?
Kinda, yeah, actually.
Genuinely surprised by the young Nicholas response there. Okay, well, in that case, we'll do a walk section with Coatlmox and Mackie.
So, Nazeem has had enough demons. He does not need any more for a long time.
I'm sorry, I can't. Immediately, I just went when you said that.
I was thinking it.
I said Nazeem, not young Nicholas.
We're all a bunch of good, nice loyalists.
Loyal to who, though?
I'm loyal to father.
You're literally carrying a chaos dagger!
I'm loyal to me.
Mr. Bowl of Goo says hello.
No, Mr. Bowl of Goo is safely in a fucking vault.
Hands up those of you who have never interacted with chaos in any meaningful way, either by owning something that's clearly corrupted, or being friends with something thereof.
Now,
I raised my hand.
I raised my hand.
This campaign, or what?
This campaign.
What does chaosy stuff this campaign?
You are carrying a dagger with a...
I don't know anything about that dagger.
I know.
You keep implying it's spooky. I just think it's a neat dagger. I don't out of character.
Yeah, do you not remember this was the dagger that young Nicholas was basically smearing chaos juice on?
No, it's the dagger you got from the cornate priest.
Oh, that
From the who?
Yeah.
I won this in a duel with a dude, no?
You did, yeah. And that guy got it in a duel with a cornate priest.
Oh, did he tell me that?
No.
Oh, alright. Well, yeah, it's just a dagger, man.
Yeah, it's just a dagger with a funny symbol on the end.
Yeah, fucking murder dagger. It's a literal murder dagger.
Yeah.
Could just be someone's house on the end, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, like, in character, you're golden. Out of character, if anything, having the psyker kill God's dagger is probably not a bad shout right now. As you slowly accrue your anti-psyker gear. Right. Okay. It means it's time for some XP. What?
I have just thought of something and I don't like it.
Shoot.
As in, I don't like this. Is oh no, don't like. Creed, have you brought your Omnislayer axe into battle?
Yes.
So you have null stones, your blackstone on it, and you have spoopy spoop juice on it.
I imagine I would have stopped doing the juice.
That works. Right? I presume that you can't make a blackstone weapon a demon weapon.
No, the demon juice.
I was going to say, don't they intrinsically cancel each other out?
Yeah.
The purpose of the juice on the axe was to means like you could carry it through the warp, like you could warp travel without it affecting too much. I believe was the idea.
Don't try and give a reason for your smearing chaos.
I think it was so I wouldn't
all over his fucking axe.
I think it's because otherwise I might get like the null effect of everyone being a bit annoyed and uncomfortable when I hang around with all my null rocks.
There is also there is a bit of a gulf of difference between a hypothetically tainted weapon and a demon weapon.
Basically, is the demon, or is that demon juice doing demony things? Possibly.
I mean, maybe we had it described as less an extrusion of bowl of goo, and more as the leavings or byproduct thereof.
Okay, cool. That's fine then.
Yeah, you put demon shit all over a weapon.
All over the most anti-demon part of the weapon.
Indeed. It's fine.
And if you'll recall, he did need to keep giving it to you because it did, like, slowly use up for whatever reason. Almost as though it was getting slowly decayed.
It was evaporating, right? Certainly never absorbing.
God.
They're not.
So, let's do some plot progression. So let's do some XP. Does anyone feel like you made any significant plot progression in this session?
We lost father. Again.
But didn't we gain ourselves in the process?
No.
No, but we lost brothers in the process.
What is father? That
hundreds and hundreds of brothers.
What is father?
Any other plot progressions?
Landed on the planet. Plans to kick off. It's not going great, but we've done it.
Well, your landing isn't going great. The northern landing took extremely few casualties, and the southern landing took very heavy casualties, but they still got a few hundred Marines down, whereas you guys are like a few squads.
You getting there?
Yeah. Like, overall, it went way better than Mortarian stuff. It just sucks for the main landing party. Anything else? Nope. Okay.
Coayah's walk went well. He started the assault. Does that count as plot progress?
I feel like that's covered under the last two. Character development. Does anyone feel like Does anyone feel like they developed their character this session?
Mackie gained an even more newfound appreciation for the loss of Battle Brothers and how it affects him.
It's seeing them explode in pointless actions really start to get to you a little bit there. The siege on Nova Barillia may have been brutal, but at least they died for a purpose.
I'm not acting on it yet, but in losing my last fate, I shall become a lot more guarded and paranoid in future. Probably try and accelerate my blame cloning.
I really want to see you in a dreadnought.
Is that the ruling? If he dies with 0 fate, we'll give him a -1, but he gets whacked in a dreadnought permanently.
Based in blessed machinery.
If Creed's okay with it, and if he doesn't play it, and he's still okay with it, we at least have him as an NPC dreadnought.
It's gonna be.
I wouldn't mind NPCing him if he dreadnought.
Some ancient Rylanor tier bullshit. Any other character development?
I want to say so about the what's it called? The thingy pod that I lost. But
Kharybdis.
I don't. The Kharybdis, but don't know if it affected me that much.
Yeah, I always feel like the Kharybdis was more into you than you were into it.
Yeah, like it was like a buddy, let's go into battle sort of thing. It's like what's like a pet? It's like it's very sad that it's died, but like as a grown up, I'm not that attached to it. It's not like emotionally attached. It's like.
Whilst I see where you're coming from, when my cat dies, I do intend to like blow my fucking eyes out.
It's like your best mate's dog that you saw all the time. It's not like your pet, but it's you have a connection. But it's like, oh, you died, and like this is really sad, and I'm mourning. But it's not like I am distraught.
It sounds like you regarded it as, at best, a work animal, and more realistically as a tool that worked well for you, but was perhaps frustratingly attached. Or frustratingly persnickety.
You're making me feel sorry for it now. I care more about its death now.
Yeah, it did, like...
That poor thing wasn't loved enough.
Kharybdis are assholes, but yeah, it absolutely did not get the... Like, he made friends with that on fucking Galifas.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's I feel like from Nick's point of view, I guess that's how I was saying it. But maybe Nazeem would see it a bit more because he probably dropped it a bit more actually. So,
well, all I can say is rip Cabby.
Yeah,
we loved you, but not that much.
He is gonna mourn it. He is sad about it. He's not.
Well, remember, it is still an inanimate object as far as you're concerned. Even if they have a certain personality.
You had a connection, exactly.
excellence of roleplay. Does anyone feel like anyone else roleplayed particularly well that session?
I like Benji's in the warp experience. I thought it was just very well. Yeah, it was extremely Benji.
It was, wasn't it? Nope. Fingers in ears. Nope. Didn't even look round.
I can only imagine what others of us could have been like in that walk.
Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
I would have just stepped over the line. Go on, what happened?
Yeah, I feel like Ollie and Carl would have been more or less the same if less resolute, and you and young Nicholas probably would have walked out of there with, best case scenario, a lot more corruption. Worst case scenario, probably, in young Nicholas's mold, a Zinchian-style deal.
Yeah, I would have come out with a new demon.
Ooh, no one shall ever discover your secrets, but in return, you will be forced to do me a favour, and you won't even realise it. And then
What's the favour?
Well, it won't be named.
Yeah, if I don't realise it, what's it matter? Fuck it.
Exactly. That's the spirit. Carl making demons with bargains. No, fuck. Any other excellence of roleplay? Nope. Okay, slim pickings this week. Right, in that case, I make that out to be 170 experience points for session number 46. That is 30 points of plot progression, lost father, again, landed on the planet, Coayah's walk went well. 30
That's
points.
how low bar that is. Landed on the planet. God.
It was quite it defeated Mortarion, so, credit where it's due. Even with the massive casualties, one, you did get a lot more people down successfully than he did, and two, you have 2 Primarchs on the surface. That's not an unforbiddable force.
I get to poke Mortarion in the childhood once again.
That went really well last time, didn't it?
Hey, I managed to swallow down the second throwing up. And I badass doing so.
We had to almost frog march you out of there.
No, you didn't.
Yes, we did!
They absolutely did.
No, you.
The only reason they didn't is because you willingly went before you could be hauled.
Exactly, so therefore, no, I didn't.
I said almost. I said we almost had to.
30 points, character development. That's Mackie gained a newfound respect for losing Battle Brothers. Coatlmox lost his last fate and shall get more paranoid. And Rip Kabi, we loved you, but not that much. And 10 points, excellence of roleplay. Benji to the warp, for now, plus your standard 100 general. Which brings us belatedly onto everyone's favourite part of the session. It's the highlights. Carl, do you have any highlights for that session?
No.
Fair play. Creed, do you have any highlights for that session?
You. What have I got? Coayah stubborns a warp ghost to death. I just refuse to believe it existed until it burned up.
Yeah, that was never an option for the record. I was like, well, I guess it is the warp, and he is, stubbornly willing it away. I'll give him oh, fuck, he won the willpower convincingly. Shit.
Fuck off, demon.
Wasn't sure how to word it, but, Jesus has got the wheel vibes, but Magnus got the gellar-field.
Magnus-grab-my-gellar-field. Perfect. Anything else?
I'd also take any better wording for this one, but just the psyker going flying like a pierced balloon.
Perfect. Anything else?
That was it for me.
Cool. Young Nicholas, do you have any highlights for that session?
Yes. How to put this? Do what you will to my body, just not the Terminator armour.
Fair. Anything else?
And, how to put it? Oh shit, you do have that power.
What was that in relation to?
Jonas said he had, like...
I have synaptic link by Mark. And you're like, shit!
We've had a few of those where people go like, "Aha! I had this hyper-specific thing you gave me 20 sessions ago." Like you go, "Fuck! Shit! I did say that."
And cute nurgling just wants to say hello.
Not necessarily a nurgling, but sure. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Cool. Ollie, do you have any highlights for that session?
The visuals of the Marines drop pods smashing through those towers, it's quite visceral.
Perfect. Anything else?
I don't know how to say, but the entire session was quite like a imagination-heavy session, if that makes sense. There was a lot more visuals, if that's a way of looking at it.
Metaphor and stuff.
Theatre of the mind.
Theatre of the mind, exactly. So it was a very heavy theatre of the mind. Every session is. But yeah, this one was kind of like...
I appreciate what you mean.
Yeah.
A lot of it was less about here is the scene as happening, and more about here are the sensations and the interpretations, and yeah. Well, left open to a more explicit interpretation, I guess, rather.
Mm-hmm. I did like Coayah's interactions with the various shades and such.
Really looking forward to Coayah having more warp shenanigans in future.
And I guess the drop scene, to be honest, the inside being in the kharybdis, or whatever it's called, was quite just, and it was an evocative series of events.
Oh, I'm glad. I really like the drop scene. We have so many big invasions where everything's clearly going to plan, and you're dropping under ideal or close to ideal scenario situations. It's like, yeah, fair enough. It's nice every now and then to have an enemy where it's like, yeah. No, get fucked and get fucked hard. Anything else?
That's me done, I think, then.
Cool. And then, last but not least, Benji. Do you have any highlights for that session?
I've not been keeping up very much this session. I've been quite busy dealing with stuff.
Fair, it sounds like
I've had a baby who keeps waking up, so I have to keep basically going up and hushing him.
I mean, understandable. Okie dokie. I mean, in that case... sorry?
I'd say, can I add in something for Coayah's ego demons? Question mark? His self-angel devils on his shoulders?
Sure.
I really like them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd love to bring them back in future, if we end up in a situation where Coayah has to deal with those again.
I've got one more, actually.
The devil and the other devil. Nicholas?
If it doesn't overlap with someone else's, deflating balloon noises.
I guess we can take it.
Just like the wording.
Perfect. In that case, thank you all for a lovely session number 46. Anyone have any final words for the recording? Or indeed balloon sound effects?
Magnus makes terrible plans.